Welcome to Coffee with Dr. Carla. I'm Dr. Carla. This is Marty, and we're glad that you're here with us. Our goal today is to talk about mental health related issues and work on ending the stigma that surrounds them. All right. So, we've already identified, between us, I'm ADD, you're ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
We know there's daily struggles.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
So, anyone who knows me already knows what my daily struggles are. I'm sorry, but why don't you kind of share a little bit?
Yeah.
So like I know we've talked in the past that a lot of those daily struggles were happening before you were diagnosed as an adult because you had no idea what was going on.
That's right.
But diagnosis, while it's very helpful, is not a miracle cure to get rid of all daily struggles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, absolutely. So I guess let's just talk through a typical day, right? Like how this works for me. So waking up is absolutely the first struggle for me, and to wake up and to be motivated and excited to go do whatever it is that I'm doing for the day. And why I say that's a struggle is because some days it's fantastic, right? You jump out of bed and you're ready to conquer the world, and then other days there could be $1,000 on the side of the room, and it's not going to motivate me to get up and go do those things at times. And so, you really start to learn what are the things the routine that I can create for myself when I wake up.
That allows you to be the most successful.
That's it. Exactly right. So what's going to make the best version of me for that day? And there's days that it's helpful and it works, and then there still is days where it's just not really doing it for me, especially when it's an overcast day and it's rainy. In what I find interesting with that is it's similar for a lot of people, right? Overcast day, rainy day, not a lot of lack of motivation for what I find is most people at that point. But I feel like it really starts to affect my desire to want to go get a task done or start to tackle a project.
Right.
I work from home, so it's to wake up and shift to the computer and get going with that it's a struggle at times to start to do that if I'm out of my system, right? Out of the routines I start to create for myself.
Yeah, I know every person is different. Yeah. And I know that from previous conversations, your routine and my routine are definitely different because of our wake sleep cycles and whatnot. But so why don't you share how your routine or what you discovered about yourself and how you set up your routine?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to take a step back first real quick before I describe the routine, which is just in that, whenever I've tried to, even as a kid through adolescence to current day, falling asleep has always been a real difficult thing for me.
Okay.
No matter if I try to go to sleep at 9 o'clock at night or midnight or 1 o'clock in 1 a.m., it's always a consistent struggle for me to try and find the right bedtime routine.
Okay.
I used to have to be up at 6 a.m., be downtown at 7 a.m.
Ooh.
And so, for me, some days were rough because I wouldn't fall asleep. I'd put myself to bed at 10, but I wouldn't fall asleep till 1 or 2 because I'm, doing every project and counting everything and doing all that in my head. And so, really the wake up routine starts the night before for me.
Okay.
Which is, I've learned that if I have, something on my mind or I need to, so if I'm, I call it scatterbrained at night, right? Random things are popping up and it can't calm my brain down. I have ways. So basically what I'll do is I'll get up and start the routine again.
Oh, okay.
So if I lay there too long and try and sleep, I'm just going to keep getting restless, and then I'm worried about not sleeping, and waking up the next morning is going to be difficult, and I just in this constant loop battle with my brain. So what I do is I say, okay, let's take a break. Let's stop trying to go to sleep. Let's get up. Maybe you're grabbing a drink of water, do a lap around your house, whatever it may be, but try to then say, okay, now I'm going to start that again. Let me lay down, calm myself. I know for me it doesn't really work, but for some they like to read before bed or whatever it may be. So all that to say is it starts the night before for me.
Okay.
And then waking up in the morning, what I've learned is that, again, I'm not a great 6 a.m. person.
Yeah.
I can when I have to be, but if I were to go based off of what works best, 9 o'clock is kind of my sweet spot with
To wake up at
to
9.
wake up at 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I
Wake
know
up at 6, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Right. Two totally different ways of operating. Exactly.
Absolutely. And so I've just found, in I've talked to other friends and colleagues and such that have, ADHD or ADD, and it works the same, like we just mentioned, right? Two different mentalities behind it. I think the goal there, though, is to find what is easiest on your mind and easiest on your brain. I often hear, well, oh, that you're lucky because, you have a job that you can work from home from, or you chose a career that does X, Y, or Z. And, I didn't always, right? And so at some point I, went and kind of had to find what kind of worked best for me. And what that was the, work from home life. And so I, got a job that I could do that with and, kind of set what works, how I operate to match my lifestyle.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you could do your chosen career or profession and find different places to work that can accommodate the way you operate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, a lot of the daily start, like I said, starts the night before. And I'll share this story because if we talk about the undiagnosis and the diagnosis process, is that I remember when I was a kid, often before Christmas Eve, right? You got to go to sleep so Santa Claus could come, and that was the worst night of the year for me.
Right.
Because I was all pumped up and excited for the next day that, but you had to go to sleep, so things can happen out.
Right. Well, Santa won't come.
Santa won't come if you're not sleeping. And my parents actually tell this story all the time, is I would actually punish myself as a kid, calling myself stupid and saying I needed to go to sleep, so much so that I would hit myself in the head. And I was I didn't know what to do, last ditch efforts.
Yeah.
And just, it was now looking back, I'm like, wow, that obviously was some things I had going on as a kid, but were again recognized through that whole process and stuff. So I share all that to say I look back and was like, wow, it really, it has been a consistent struggle for me since.
Right, and your parents' hearts are broken. They don't know what to do.
That's it.
Because you weren't looking like the typical, stereotypical
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what the image.
little boy with hyperactivity, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And so, and it was a different time, right? This is early 90s. And so, if I think about a hope for where we're at today, right, is it's, I know it's obviously a much bigger conversation. It's making a bigger conversation in efforts like we have here, right? And so, I just hope that continues, is that, just for, little kid Marty, so he's not, so he kind of understands himself a little better. Definitely. Maybe, or as an adult we can help the youth out in understanding, well, if they're displaying some symptoms, maybe again just have that conversation of how you feel, what's going on.
Yeah, we're definitely more emotionally intelligent, or at least more so than we had been in the past.
Yeah.
So routine, getting up at 9.
Getting up at 9.
Working from home.
Mm-hmm. So for me, a lot of so from there my day varies, right? Could be meetings, could be phone calls, projects to work on. I use 4 different planners. So I've got my what needs to get done today. I've got my longer term projects and such. So for me, it's an organization that works best for me. I know others that like to just fly by the seat of their pants, right? What's gonna work best for them that day,
right?
And so for me, like I said, it's the journaling, it's the having my schedule set the day before, so it's all about the prep work there. I get up, I have a routine of caffeine to do, I take my medication, and then just kind of get started for my day. Even with all that, there's days where it still doesn't work. When that happens, what I try to do is, get some music playing. For me, that's, just whatever music for the day that's hitting, playing it as loud as I can, try to maybe dance around the house or whatever it may be. And I've heard some people do similar things, right? They'll belt music as loud as they can, or they'll, maybe it's coloring. I know for some of my friends, it's coloring pictures, or maybe reading the newspaper. I guess the point there is find what works. I think what works best for them. For me, it's music, And then throughout the day, then it's okay, if I need to get back to that point, that's what I do. Put some music on, maybe put a TV on in the background, but I notice I do better when I have multiple things happening at once. Helps me actually focus, which is funny, but also, very common.
Right, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I really appreciate the fact that you shared that, even though you have these routines, even though you have medication, even though you have these coping strategies, there's still good days and not so good days. So, very helpful. And I am sure there are many people out there who can relate to that, for sure. So remember, you can change your thoughts, discover your potential, and transform your life by focusing on your overall well-being. So until next time, continue working on being the best you possible. Bye.